Hello and welcome back to the Truth of Grief podcast for, as you can see, our bonus Christmas episode. I'm joined by Lauren.
Hello.
Why are we here?
I think we're here because we just wanted to help some people with Christmas grieving, milestone grieving. Obviously, today would be our daughter Nellie's 5th birthday, but she's not here with us. So I thought we could probably tell our story, what we did through the years, the first Christmas, the first birthday, in hopes it helps someone else, because there'll be people out there experiencing their first Christmas without their loved one, their first birthday, their first milestone of any occasion. So I think it might be nice to give an insight as to what we personally have done and maybe what other people have done.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it, isn't it? You've just summarised it. I mean, before we get into it, I think we should address how terrible our tree looks. I mean, I'm covered in the white stuff from the tree. No. Moving it about, and you should actually see the state of our, let's say, studio set up in our kitchen. It looks a mess. We will post a picture just so you can kind of see hilariously what we've thrown together. But it doesn't matter. We are still learning how to do this, and hopefully we're getting better at it. So yes, our tree was put together with our 2-year-old probably about half an hour ago, which is why everything is predominantly at the bottom than the top, because he's only about yay tall.
He tried.
Yeah, he enjoyed it. I mean, I don't really enjoy putting the stuff on the tree, so more he can do it all day long. But yes, back to, I suppose, the reason why we're here. Yeah, we know some people who are going to be experiencing their first Christmas without their loved one, and whether that's a child, a sibling, a parent, hopefully some things that we've kind of, I suppose, experienced and learned along the way can help, comfort, or not necessarily help certain people, but they might be able to pass the information on to someone that they know. And if it helps one person, that's what we're here for, isn't it? It doesn't take that long to throw this together. So all in the art of Christmas. So where should we start?
I think it would be a good place to start. Obviously, today would be Nellie's 5th birthday, and this is obviously the 4th one without her. She only obviously made it to 1. And I think the first year, we didn't really know what to do. I don't think anyone knows what you're meant to do when, like, to celebrate someone's birthday that isn't here anymore, especially someone that wasn't here for too long, so didn't have special kind of interests and special things that really, I don't know, it's hard to explain. Like, when you're only 1, it's different than if someone was to pass away at 80. They've got 80 years of mannerisms and different things that they like. So you could go, I'm going to drink their favourite drink tonight, I'm going to do this tonight, I'm going to eat their favourite food. And she did have those favourite things. Obviously, yeah, one of her favourite places was the park. She never got to go to many places. So on the first birthday without her, we just laid some flowers on a swing that she used to sit in. I think we just let off a number 2 balloon, I think, or something like that, and then it's a blur. I feel like my brain has blocked some of it out because it's quite hard.
Yeah, I think obviously not doing a funeral, and we had a bit of a memorial. So, what do you call it?
It's a celebration of life.
Celebration of life with sort of friends and family over at a particular park down the road to where we lived. We set off a load of balloons, which half of them got stuck in the tree, which probably no one's ever actually mentioned, but was a little bit funny. But obviously we wasn't going to laugh at the time. So yeah, it felt right. That really considering she was only 1, and we thought we'd revisit the park and let off a balloon. And I think we did that for the following year as well.
Yeah.
Um,
And we was waiting for those kids to get off the swing. 'Cause it was like 7:30 and we was like, it's freezing cold.
yeah,
Can
it was
you
only
guys leave the park?
one
It
of
was just
those little
embarrassing.
kiddie ones that has the sort of like.
We was like, you guys can leave the park now. Come on, we've got things we want to do. And I remember actually getting quite pissed off and quite stressed. I was like, I just want to do this one thing, like one day of the year. Why is there someone there ruining it? People don't know. Kids don't know. But when you're in the thick of grief and stuff, you don't really care about other people's feelings. I was just like, get out the park. But the first Christmas without Nelly, that was a very hard one because the Christmas that she was here, the year before, was the best Christmas ever, wasn't it? Your nan was there, your parents.
Granddad came dressed as Santa.
Yeah, your
she
granddad
got to
came.
meet Santa.
Yeah. And I remember we just moved into where we are now, our new place. We didn't put up a single decoration. We didn't feel very festive. We didn't want to celebrate. We didn't have a Christmas dinner. We didn't see anyone. We just tucked ourselves away and almost pretended Christmas wasn't even a thing. I felt really hurt and upset that our families continue to do Christmas.
Yeah.
And again, there's no right or wrong. But for me as her mum, I thought, how are you still celebrating Christmas? How do you even feel festive? How can you just pretend that it not didn't happen, but you can just put on a brave face and enjoy the day as if my favourite person in the world wasn't here anymore? Like, I couldn't wrap my head around how people were still wanting to celebrate, and I felt really, really hurt and saddened by it. And that might be selfish of me. Again, there's no right or wrong. You can feel however you want to feel.
Isn't it? And am I right in thinking that was in particular family as opposed to friends?
No, yeah, family, yeah. My family, your family.
Yeah.
And I was just like, how? How can you even pretend that you're happy when we just spent all day? I don't even remember what we ate. I think we just had a normal dinner and just couldn't wait for the day to end. It was just, we're quite, people, like with our grief, I think people on the outside that maybe don't know us that well would think, yeah, they deal with it really well. Yeah, they're really strong. They don't talk about it much. They don't cry about it much. They just crack on and whatever. But that day really affected us. And there's not actually been that many days since Nelly died that it's taken the wind out of both of us at the same time. Her birthdays and the first Christmas was rough. And yeah, I think I was heavily pregnant at the time with our son as well. And I just thought, I don't want to celebrate. I don't want to. I don't have to, and I'm not going to. It would have been fake for me to try. But then I remember the following year, we had Lenny, who was 10 months old.
Yeah.
So although he was still too young, he didn't really know, but you had another person to be happy for and to take your mind off it a little bit. It was still hard, and I was still thinking about her continuously and thinking about the Christmas that we had with her that was like amazing. But I had someone else to, just be happy for. And
yeah, so I suppose anyone that's about to hit Christmas and either if they have lost someone and haven't got anything else to kind of take their mind off of it, it's okay to feel like you don't want to celebrate Christmas. Obviously, it's such an obvious sort of season to be merry and happy, as well as obviously it's the time that you sometimes can be wrapped around and around family more for longer periods than you would normally. And if you're on your own and kind of don't want to celebrate it, it's not wrong.
no,
And obviously, hopefully, people that listen to this and might know someone that could be in that situation can kind of reach out to them and just check that they're okay.
just don't force them.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I think there's gentle coaxing of, are you sure you don't want to come? Like, it might be really nice to take your mind off it. But if that person says no, then just respect their wishes. Like,
mm,
we was offered, are you sure you don't want to come? No,
mm,
we didn't. And obviously now looking back, I don't think it was selfish for your family to, or our families to do that. It's just we weren't in that headspace.
mm,
And again, there's no right or wrong. And that's I'll probably say this about 20 times this episode, because your grief journey is your own thing. Like, if you feel up to going around someone's house celebrating a little bit, then go. But if you go there and you need to take 10 minutes out, go into the bathroom, go outside, get some fresh air, just recoup, have the moment thinking about them, and then go back out and putting on that brave face
mm,
and whatever. Because yeah, it might help, but then equally you can go there, think, yeah, no, this is way out my comfort zone, it's too soon, it's too early.
mm.
Then just say whoever you're with should understand, and if they don't, then they're not on your grief path.
No,
Just
definitely.
because someone feels one way about something doesn't mean you feel the exactly same way.
Mm,
So just don't rush, be kind to yourself, don't put other people's feelings above your own, because it's not going to help you in the long run.
mm.
So
I suppose we can't talk from experience of a first Christmas whilst having distractions of other
no.
children. So, if anyone potentially is listening that has kind of experienced that first Christmas, but was not necessarily fortunate enough, but you had other responsibilities and obligations to keep going, and you might have had other children or other family to kind of keep you occupied and sane. Um, Please leave us some comments or something that we can maybe share after seeing this episode to give that point of view, because we're not experts in that one. We can't give you the experience of that. Um,
Mm.
what we could probably move on to next is that first Christmas with Lenny, yet still obviously um, not having Nelly with us. So I feel probably from that first year of not celebrating, because obviously what's there to celebrate really, to obviously trying to make it a little bit Christmassy with, albeit a baby, but you have that time to sort of heal a bit more, and then you have probably a lot more guilt. So the same as obviously as birthdays go by and time, I know I felt that first Christmas with Lenny, it's like deja vu.
Mm.
We 1 minute you're trying to celebrate Christmas with your firstborn, and then because obviously you've only got one living child at the time, it's almost like doing it again.
Mm.
You don't want that first child, especially, to miss out on the things that Nelly would have. So meeting Father Christmas again, and the sort of things that you do with a baby at Christmas. So then you're kind of doing it again, and you go in that cycle. You go in that cycle of feeling a bit guilty.
Mm.
I know I did. What did you feel like?
Oh yeah, I don't think the guilt ever really leaves.
Mm.
And if I'm being completely honest, I'm a bit apprehensive for this Christmas, because this is the first Christmas where we've got 2 living children, but we should have 3.
Mm.
So I don't know how, like, mentally I'll be. I remember last Christmas I was obviously pregnant with Renly, and we found out that he was a boy that day.
Mm.
So I think it was quite nice to have a little distraction. So I wasn't just sitting there thinking about Nelly all the time. And it's not that I don't want to. It's just if I let myself think too much, I then can't take in what's around me. I have to pick and choose, like, okay, I'm going to have a Nelly moment. I'm going to have a non-Nelly moment. Like, you have to just balance it out. And again, that's
Mm.
come with time. And I still haven't perfected it. I still kind of don't open that gate as much as I should.
Mm.
But Christmas Day, found out it was another boy. And I ran upstairs, didn't I? Like 10 minutes afterwards, I ran upstairs and I was just a mess because I thought I knew that that would be our last child. And a part of me was hoping that it was going to be a girl.
Mm.
I thought, come on, not replacing Nelly, but
Mm.
as a mum, when you have a daughter, or even as a man, when you have a daughter, and then you lose that daughter, and then you go on to have sons. And I'm not saying I don't love my sons at all. I love them with every like part of me as well. But I was ripped away from being a girl mum. I love being a girl mum. I dressed her in little things. I just envisioned my whole life, every Christmas, every birthday with her.
Mm.
When we grow up, well, when she grows up, I'm already grown. Going shopping together, getting our hair done for Christmas, getting our nails done for Christmas, like all that was just stripped away.
Mm.
And you just reminded of that every Christmas. And yeah, obviously when we found out Rennie was a boy, I was over the moon. Lenny had a brother, 2 boys. Yeah, you know couldn't wish for more apart from Nelly being here.
Mm. Yeah, no, I think we spoke about this before. One day potentially we might speak a bit more about gender disappointment with regards to not necessarily just losing a child and then hoping that you'd maybe get another gender that you wanted or stuff, but you know, everyday couples and families that might keep having boys or keep having girls, and it's a thing that you shouldn't be ashamed of. You can be disappointed that you may not have got the gender that you wanted. You know, doesn't mean you don't love that child or you're not going to love that child any less.
No.
But yeah, I miss things that I enjoy doing, even for and with Nelly, that I'm not going to be doing, obviously, for the boys. And then, like you said, first Christmas with Renly, and he looks a lot more like Nelly than what Lenny did. So that may or may not have helped. Or when we had Lenny, obviously it wasn't like I mean, I already said about deja vu, but when you obviously see Renly, he's a lot more of a lookalike to what Nelly is. So yeah, you go through that whole deja vu moment all over again, and then yeah, it's just something that people need to talk about more, don't they?
Obviously, this year is your first Christmas without your dad's mum, so your other nan. So then it's going to be, I wonder how your dad might feel. I know you didn't see her every single Christmas because she was quite an independent lady. She did what she wanted when she wanted. And then obviously the last couple of years she was poorly, but you'll probably sit there and think, oh, Nellie's not here anymore. Neither's your other nan. Well, both nans, but your dad's mum, who was there the Christmas Nellie was.
Yeah.
And it was just a lovely day, but maybe they're up together having a lovely Christmas.
Yeah, no, that's true. I think I'm a lot more accepting of it when, particularly, obviously, she had a bit of a long-term illness, so you kind of can build up for it. You know it's going to happen at some point. So yeah, it's obviously just life moving on and getting on. Even thinking about it, we spoke about it earlier about imagining having the boys that were sort of nearer to sort of 7, 8, 9, and it just feels ages away. But it's really not. Like Lenny's soon to be 3, and then you start to think, Christ, like the time is really getting on. I'm sure a lot of people were listening to this thinking exactly the same. Some people might be listening to it going, no, my life's dragging. Please hurry up. But no, life is. I don't know if it's having kids because you are always on the go, whether that makes the time fly. But yeah,
I think this year for me as well is going to be quite a difficult one because I had a little old lady best mate called Win. She was 103, and she died this year. But I've known her for it's not even that long in the grand scheme of things. Not in her life anyway.
I know. Go on, work it out.
So
that's what I find so incredible.
I was her carer, And I started caring for her when I think she was 95.
So,
This
I mean,
old
that's
lady,
incredible to get to 95.
I know she was old as hell.
And you only came into her life, vice versa, when she was 95.
Yes,
And
but the
you, yeah,
backstory,
go on.
obviously, she knew my grandparents, which I never knew. So I remember walking into her house for the first time. We'd literally just got this lady the package. Her name's Win. She lives here. Like she needs put into bed. So I thought, okay, cool. I walked in there and I thought, it smells like my grandma's house. Like I'm getting a really weird grandma feel. And my grandma's been dead since I was like 12. So I mean, we're going back a long time. I was like, oh, I can really feel like my grandma's around. Like, what the hell?
Do they not
And
all just smell the same?
surprisingly, no. So obviously, being a carer, I'd been to 50, 100 old people's homes, but this one was different. And I walked in, I said, "Hello, Win, you all right? My name's Lauren, blah blah." And I remember going home, and I said to my mum, "When you go and see, because my mum worked at the same care company, when you go and see Win, let me know what you think. Tell me. I'm not going to tell you nothing." So she's come home the next day and said, "You never guess what? She used to live 3 doors down from my grandma. They used to be neighbours and they used to like know each other." So she was telling us stories about like my grandparents. So it was all really weird. So anyway, I digress. I'd known her for 8 years. I stopped caring for her after 4 years because I went to give birth to Nellie. Obviously, still stayed in touch. Still took Nellie to go see her. And I just loved her like she was my own. Like she was like the nan I never really had because my nan didn't really like me very much. So I cannot put into words how amazing and special she was to me. And I remember it was the first, obviously, when I was caring for her for those 4 years, I worked every Christmas day. So every Christmas day I'd see her, and then the year I gave birth to Nellie was the first year I hadn't seen her. But I called her. I said, "You all right, Win? Merry Christmas." She was deaf as a post as well, so I was more like screaming, "You all right, Win?" So yeah, she's just a remarkable lady. And then the year after, she lost her son a month before we lost Nellie.
Yes.
So that Christmas, that's what we did that Christmas. How did I forget? We went and saw Win because she was wallowing in self-pity as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did we have fish and chips or what did we do?
No, it was Christmas Day. There was no fish and chips on the fucking shop.
Yeah, but normally.
We did used to, but no, we just went and saw her.
Oh.
We just sat with her. She spoke about Graham. I spoke about Nellie.
Christ.
We just spent a couple of hours with her, and then we went home and had our fish fingers, chips, and beans, or whatever it was. So yeah, I'd seen her for a lot, and then the year after, I think I popped in, and I think it was only last Christmas I didn't see her as well. So out of the 8, only 2 of them I've not seen, but I still spoke to her. Because she just meant so much to me. Like I loved that woman with every fibre of my being. And she passed away March this year, and that hit me like a ton of bricks. That whole situation is one for another day, but yeah, that really hit me. I was pregnant with Renly, and I was just gonna tell her that he was a boy, because I wasn't able to speak to her like quite soon after, and yeah, it was just a bit of a whirlwind time. And then then she passed away, and I thought she met Nellie, she met Lenny. She's never going to meet Renly.
Held him and played with him.
Held him, played with him. Like she was 103, but she was still throwing a ball to Lenny, kicking it. She was a remarkable lady, and this Christmas is going to be weird because I'm not going to speak to her. Yeah. And I know she wasn't blood relative to me, but she felt like she was the nan that I wish I always had.
Well, maybe, I mean, that could lead us on to something like the fact that you had a bond in, again, traumatic circumstances, because obviously she outlived both of her children.
Yeah. So both of her children passed away before her. Her husband passed away before. When you're 103, you're not really. Although her kids were 60.
I mean, that's not exactly old, is
No,
it?
no, it's not. It's
Um,
terrible.
but she still understands the feeling of losing a child and obviously having to still live and wake up
Well,
each day.
I
Like, let's
remember
be serious.
I remember she said to me, she was like, Lauren, I cannot imagine how it feels to be 25, losing a baby, and having to live the rest of my days without my child. She was like, I'm lucky I'm 102. She was 102 at the time.
Mm.
I don't have to live for much longer without them because they only died 2 years before she died. And they both died within a year of each other. Oh, it was poor old lady. But
Mm.
yeah, she said to me, I would rather be in my shoes. I had 60 years with them, and it hurts because that's 60 years lost. But I don't have to live much longer without them. I'll be with them again soon.
Yeah.
You have to live every day until the day you die. She went, you could make 103. I said, no, I won't. No way. Take me out way before then. And she just laughed.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that really put it into perspective because I
Mm.
sit there and I think things could be worse. But then, yeah, someone says little things like that and it just puts you into perspective, doesn't it?
Mm.
What a woman. Love you, Win. Hope you're watching. I felt like I was going to get emotional talking about Win, let alone my own kid.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad thing.
Oh, I miss her.
Cameras are still rolling. It's okay. At the end of the day, I think people like this podcast because of the realness, and we're
Yeah, but
not.
I'm crying about a fucking 103-year-old lady, not my.
Yeah, but you were trauma bonded, and at the same
We
time,
bonded way before Graham died.
yeah, but she was maybe the nan that you
I'm also
never had,
sad.
really.
I'm also sad because she promised me her Christmas decoration that was that stupid spindly little pipe cleaner Santa Claus,
Oh yeah.
and then she died, and then I never got it. I'm grieving that. I fucking love that thing.
So, what are you crying about? The decoration or Win?
This ain't going in it, but
Yeah, it is. So, what are ways that we tried to remember Nelly at the milestones, the birthdays, the Christmases? I suppose I don't really celebrate Halloween so much as a sort of thing,
No.
but let's just stick with that. Birthdays and Halloweens. Christ. Birthdays and Christmas. So obviously mentioned that we lit a balloon off, as well as obviously we have lit candles or gone to a place that kind of brought back memories of being with her. What else do we do for birthday?
Well, it's not even necessarily what we do, it's what you can do.
Yeah.
Obviously, where Nelly was only one, I do find it quite difficult to connect myself with certain things because where she was obviously poorly for over half of her life, she wasn't able to do anything.
Hmm.
She wasn't able to eat a lot. She had a feeding tube. So smoke their cigar, go to their favourite place, do something that ties you into that and really feel and embrace the grief and the connection that you have for that person.
Well, you say that. I actually watched quite a while ago. I think it was a podcast with that. Was it Ashley Kane? Obviously, he lost his daughter, and he was actually touching on the fact that how powerful the feeling of grief is, which is something I've still not really embraced, apart from probably,
The day she died.
well, I'm going to say 3 moments which you'll remember where actually going down a slightly different route, embracing it and kind of sobbing my heart out and coming through the other side of it actually made me feel so much better. Like, I hate to compare it to this, but when you're feeling sick, you need to be sick and you'll feel better afterwards, but you don't want to be sick. There was a couple of moments where I can hold off crying or quite well. There was a couple of moments where I just couldn't. One of them was at that men's circle. That time I came back and I had a moment and saw her whilst my eyes were closed, and I was like, sobbing, and then afterwards I just felt a weight lifted. Another time was when I kind of was driving home and I was listening to that music and actually had some really good news involving the podcast actually, and kind of everything kind of hit me all in one go. And thinking about Nelly and what we're trying to do with this in sort of the memory of Nelly, and yeah, you kind of don't want to go down that route of crying and feeling like shit, but when you actually do and you just let it go, which men obviously struggle more with than probably what women do, you do actually feel a lot lighter and better for it, thinking about them and almost for that split time, just devoting your whole self to thinking about them. When obviously you don't want to think about them because you don't want to get upset. So they're very two contradicting things. But yeah, that was a long-winded thing that I was thinking of with regards to embracing the grief, which no one wants to, but it does make you feel better afterwards. And I need to do it more. I need to learn myself how to do it and when
Your
to do it.
problem is finding time.
Which sounds so selfish or stupid. Let's be serious. I just literally said how good it feels afterwards and everyone should do it. And
You don't
I'm
as
a
much.
fake if I can't even do it myself.
Yeah, it's just finding the time. The thing is, you can't force it. You have to wait for the build-up sometimes.
Yeah.
But when you feel the build-up, just let it go. Don't harvest it. But we're both guilty for that. We both have quite busy lives, me with the children, you with your business, and the children, obviously, when you then get home, that you don't have the time or it's not the right place or whatever. That I remember there's been multiple times where I might wake up feeling like a grief heavy day, and I'm a little bit snappy and irritable with the boys because my mind is elsewhere, and I sit there and I'm like, I could really scream cry right now. I could really embrace it. I could really, I need it right now. But Lenny's pulling at my leg because he wants a packet of crisps, or he's shouting at me because the Bumble Nums isn't on the telly or whatever. And I'm thinking, oh, I just want this moment to grieve my other child that isn't here. And I'm taking it out on my living one. So that's where you then get guilt, because I'm guilty that I'm not devoting my time for Nelly, even though she's not even here. But then I'm guilty because I should be putting my all into my living children and not focusing on that. So I feel like you can't get it right. You just
I
do
wonder
what you can.
if hopefully in the future we have an expert on here or someone with a bit more experience of grief than what we do. I wonder if they would say you need to make time for it. You need to, I don't know, certain times of the day or the week and just scroll through your phone, watch videos, which I know you obviously do a lot more than what I do, to kind of not numb yourself, but kind of regulate. So that for me, it doesn't hit me so much in one go at one time. I wonder if that's something, if anyone's got any comments or any advice, by all means.
I know this sounds really stupid, but I use TikTok as an outlet for myself, like a little personal diary. I'll see like a trend, and it really, like, if it really hits me and I think, oh, I really relate to that. Like some people, I know a lot of grief TikTok accounts that post a lot of stories about their like partner who died or other children that have died, and you get a lot of hate comments of, you're only posting this for views, you're only posting this for likes, and it's like, no, some people use that as an outlet because they don't have words, they don't have someone that they might even want to talk to at that moment, but they look at this video that's got like the music that really resonates, the lyrics, the sound of it, and you put yourself into that. So you make the videos with Nelly in it, and or whoever it is, like your loved one, and you just feel really connected, and you have that cry while you're making it, and you post it just because I post it for me. I don't care about like, I could have one like on my whole entire account. I don't give a fuck. I post it for me. But I have had a few videos that I wouldn't say gone viral, but had a bit of traction and had some comments.
Yeah.
And I felt every word of that. I'm so sorry that you feel like that. I feel like that too. And it just makes you not feel alone. So post that silly video that you think stupid or whatever, because I don't care anymore. When I first started posting, I thought, oh, this is really embarrassing. Like, what if someone I know sees it? But then I thought, I post on my Instagram pictures of her. and videos of her. Why can't I do it to some music on a TikTok? What's the difference?
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
suppose
just don't think about what
we live in that world, don't we? Where
everyone's got a bad comment,
people are looking for
but
the
don't
bad.
let it affect you and your grief.
Yeah, you do you.
You do you, hun.
I'm not going to add the hun bit. Just you
I
do
didn't even
you.
talk about the decoration.
Yes. So obviously we were talking about Christ, milestones, birthday, what things you could do for the people, and then obviously we kind of went on a little tandem about some other bits. Back to, I suppose, Christmas and what we've done. I suppose our past Christmases, we obviously chose not to celebrate the first one without Nelly, and then the second Christmas without her, we obviously had a bit more of a distraction in Lenny to try and pick ourselves up whilst feeling probably very guilty, especially as it's her birthday month as well. So we've just felt like shit after her birthday. And then we've obviously got Christmas to get through. And then without a doubt, I'd say as the time goes on, Lenny's obviously getting older and a little bit more into the Christmas decorations and things like that. It is again a distraction, let alone if you had 2, 3, 4 kids and they're all older and running around. You probably feel very much like you need to be strong for them, and hopefully when Lenny gets a bit older and Renly, God knows what it's like to talk to a child about losing a sibling that they've never met. At the same time, I imagine there's situations where people can talk about them too much.
Yeah.
Where the living child might feel bad or not bad.
Like living in their shadows kind of thing.
Yeah, I
Like they're never
suppose
going to
so.
make up
Obviously,
to that.
Nelly was of an age where she didn't experience much of life. So it's not like she hit, I don't know, adulthood, and then there really is a shadow that you could compare to a younger sibling. But I think it would be lovely that he gets to an age where he can kind of acknowledge that he did have a sister. And when we, I don't know, had a stocking, we got a stocking for her and he understands why. That would be nice.
Yeah, he does. He does understand. Well, he doesn't understand at all, but he does know who Nelly is to some degree, because he'll point and he does say Nelly sometimes, not every time, but he will say Nelly. And then if I say, "Who's this?" sometimes he says, "Sister." So I'm saying, "That's your sister Nelly. That's your sister Nelly." I say it a lot, probably at least twice a week. We'll look through pictures and stuff. Sometimes he just goes baby because he thinks it's Randy or something. But yeah, he has said sister a couple times and Nelly. So that's quite nice. And I try to play some videos and pictures of her. Yeah, I'd probably say at least once a week. And he sits there just laughing his head off and he watches them all. Sometimes he sits on my TikTok and just swipes through the videos. It's only 2, but and he laughs. He really, really laughs and he smiles. And I'm like, oh, I just wish. My Christmas wish would just be that Nelly could come back and she never had to go. And I sit there and I think she'd be 5. What the hell do you get a 5-year-old girl for Christmas? And yeah, like obviously just because they're not here anymore doesn't mean you don't think about what they would be doing or could be doing or should be doing. That doesn't just go because they're gone.
No, definitely.
And that's a bitter pill to swallow.
I suppose something that we haven't actually mentioned yet is the Christmases that we've had, and you're trying to act normal, knowing that someone's missing. There's always that missing person or
It's
thing.
like an elephant in the room.
Elephant
Everyone
in
feels
the
it.
room.
No one knows when to bring it up.
And yeah, like family, friends. When I think of it, because she's not here, I suppose there's not much to talk about, as it has been a little while now. But yeah, you just, as a parent, don't want her to be forgotten.
No. But then equally, I know I can't speak for you, but I feel, I don't know if uncomfortable is the word, but I'm like, oh, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer and bring her up when everyone's having a good time.
Mm.
And I know no one would actually feel like that, but it's just, you're so conscious on everyone else's feelings that you put your own last. And yeah, there's been a couple of times where I sit there and I thought, oh, Nelly would really like this, or oh, wish Nelly was here, but everyone's having a great time. So I don't want to then go, yeah, I wish Nelly was here, and everyone goes, I don't know. It's just awkward, isn't it? Because I know that they would love to talk about her. It's just no one wants to make that first move.
Yeah.
And it's silly. It's silly. Like, we're 4 years down now, and we still haven't perfected it.
No.
You can't perfect it. Every year, every Christmas is going to be different.
Mm.
We've held it together, bar the first one, because we've had to. We've had distractions. Who's to say this Christmas or next Christmas it doesn't absolutely tear us to shreds? There is no,
Yeah, that's true.
there's no line of grief. You don't start here and finish here. It's up, down, left, right, diagonal. It's everywhere. One year you might be absolutely fine. The next year it might absolutely cut you up, and you just have to ride that wave.
Mm.
You do what you can. That's it. You just do what you can, and however you feel comfortable, you just got to do that. And I think going forward now, I don't want to feel uncomfortable talking about her. Not because anyone else has made me feel uncomfortable, because of my own head. I want to mention her. I want to bring her up. And the boys are obviously here now. It's even down to little things like taking family pictures at Christmas. There's always someone going to be missing.
Mm.
I almost don't want to take family pictures. We don't take pictures, period. Like, we're just really fucking shit at taking family pictures. We didn't take any Halloween pictures or any Christmas pictures last year. Even me, you, and Lenny, we're just useless. But I think it's my subconscious, because I'm like, if we get a picture this year, me, you, Lenny, Renly, who's missing? Nelly. Every time we're going to look at that picture,
Yeah.
why are you laughing?
I'm just thinking of,
Oh no.
You know when, obviously, we've done personalised things for each other, and obviously just because you said about pictures, but because of her age, there's only so many pictures that you can use. So, obviously, thankfully, you've taken thousands of pictures of her in all sorts of different outfits and poses. But obviously, as those kids get older, and then the obvious thing to get grandparents, parents, or you from me are personalised mugs, pillows, and stuff like calendars. But obviously, Nelly will always be that age.
Oh, what's when the boys are like 15,
So when the boys
16?
are that old, we won't, same as writing cards, we always put Nelly on there. But I didn't actually think about that until you just said about the pictures and things like that. But obviously, we get my mum, we do our family calendars every year.
I don't really know why it's funny.
Because
You was cracking up.
Oh, no, I wasn't cracking up. I don't think I was cracking up.
You was
I was smirking.
you was laughing.
But yes, I thought it was something that actually, well, I only just thought of, really. The calendars with the different ages that, don't get me wrong, we're not going to do the calendars forever, but
your mum would like us to.
yeah, she probably would actually, yeah. But
she'll be 90s. Where's my calendar?
Yeah, no, that's it. But
Sorry, Julie, that's a really bad impression. I think another thing that you can do at Christmas time is, we personally have got it's not really a bauble, it's more like a plaque because it's not round. It's just got a little picture of Nelly on it. Connor can insert a picture if he wants
I'll
to.
blow
after.
one up.
With just Nelly's little face on it, to put on the tree just to remember her by. So if you are experiencing Christmas without a loved one or whatever, I'd say that's a lovely touch that you can do. You can put pictures in baubles. You can do lots of different things, whether it's a scan picture if you've lost a baby, if it's a grandparent, put them in the bauble. You can put anyone in a bauble. A dog, if it's your first Christmas without your pet. Like, I think that is such a lovely touch, and you can put it on your tree every year. yeah, I would really, really, really recommend maybe doing that. And as well at Christmas time, if it's your first, fifth, or 30th year without your loved one, write a little note, write a letter to them, and say all the things that you wish you was doing or that you missed doing with them and stuff, and that you're getting it out, you're putting it down on paper, you're writing a letter to your loved one. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. When I was in therapy, the therapist said, if you're ever feeling something and you don't want to necessarily talk to someone, write it down because you're getting it out still. Or you could record a video, but people don't really do
I've
that.
seen people write things down, attach it to like a balloon and send it
Yeah,
off.
yeah. Write a message on like a biodegradable balloon or whatever. And there is so many things that you can do to remember your loved one. Play their favourite music. Watch their favourite film. The list is endless, to be completely honest. Light a candle. We've got
Yeah.
when Nelly passed
Personalised
away,
candle.
we someone sent us a candle, and it's got a picture of us three on it with forever in our hearts, I think it says, or something like that. So we light that on special occasions, on her birthday and Christmas. Not so it doesn't run all the way out, but we just light it, have a moment, and then blow it out so it doesn't run out. So yeah, get a candle printed with your loved one on it. And
I tell you what, actually, probably the best present that you've ever got me is, I think you got me this for Christmas. If you remember, on one of the first couple of episodes, not the picture that was hanging on the wall, but there was a picture hanging lower down.
insert a picture.
I'll insert the picture. And inside the montage or the outline of the man, the child, is the lyrics of the song Andy Grammer, "Don't Give Up on Me," which obviously at the time of particularly her last sort of couple of months and the final bits of treatment and stuff really resonated me with that song. And,
you still can't really listen to it, can you?
No, I
Not
think
the original.
I genuinely think, obviously, we played that for the third episode,
the montage,
and that genuinely is the first time I listened to it since the day she died.
And that was still a cover. It wasn't even
And that
the
was
original
still a cover.
song.
Yeah, I had to play that song because if you listen to the lyrics, particularly at the time of obviously what I was going through
You
personally,
used to sing it to her, didn't you?
Used to sing it to her, and let's not think about that because I wasn't going to cry. But what probably actually got me more was the outline of the child reminded me of when she had the head bandage, because it's such a round child head. And
it looked bald, didn't it?
Yeah, I'll put a picture of Nelly up, see if I can find one of them holding her. But because she had the bandage all over her head when she had the surgery on her brain or head, it really looked like her, and the little button nose, because she had such a lovely nose. So that just made me think of her straight away, as well as the lyrics.
Yeah.
But that was the most amazing Christmas present. So thank you very much. I think I bawled my eyes out for a couple of hours when you gave me that.
Yeah.
So long-winded story. Back to why I'm talking about that. That's actually a really nice and thoughtful idea. If you can get someone a present, if it can be personalised and obviously resonates with the person you're giving it to, for the person that they've lost. I know that they do like portraits, and they try and merge, even if we tried to merge a one-day family picture with Nelly and stuff like that, people can make that.
You can get like illustrations drawn, can't you, of like the outlines of you and stuff like that. I feel like personalised gifts are always a win, no matter what it is.
They're just thoughtful, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're easy, let's say, because they don't tend to be too expensive, as opposed to buying someone something materialistic like a watch or pair of shoes or a coat. But you have to put the effort in to select the photos or select the font. And
I got you your necklace as well, didn't I?
Yeah.
So that's got Nellie's handprint and footprint.
Yeah, I think I've outworn them because they're almost black now. Whether that's just how dirty I am or. But yeah, I wear them every day. So
I'm a very good gift giver.
yeah, compared to me, I'm not the best. Not gonna pretend that I am.
We'll save that for another time.
Yeah, but I'm trying. I tell you what. I was gonna say show your Crocs off, but my mum got me these little things to go on the Crocs for Christmas special, and I'll let you. You borrowed my whatever they're called. What are they called?
Giblets?
Giblets.
I think apparently they're called giblets. What about the story of the actual croc?
Don't.
Connor's really good gift giving.
Yeah.
I asked for a bone pair of Crocs and I've ended up with mustard.
I mean, some people would see that as bone.
Rotten bone.
Yeah.
Decaying bone.
Yeah. I think people can agree that it's an easy mistake to make, you know.
But yeah.
But yes, don't feel that at Christmas time, birthdays, your milestones, there's a right way to feel, because there isn't. And we've given, hopefully, an insight as to some things that we felt at the time and what we're still feeling now. And obviously, it's Nellie's birthday today, so it felt right to again do something for her. And next year, we might do something completely different. We might not be doing the podcast. Obviously, I hope we are, but we might be doing something completely different. So we just got to take each year as it comes. And
you can't rush it. You can't rush feeling okay just because it's Christmas. It's a shit time for everyone because everyone expects you to be happy. Everyone expects you to be jolly. And when you're not, for whatever reason, you just feel such an immense pressure to be okay and to make sure you're okay for everyone else. But you don't have to be. Just take it as it comes, however you feel. There's no right or wrong.
I think now might be a good time to let the audience know what we've got planned for next series.
Right.
So I'm thinking, because we're obviously diverting amongst grief.
Yeah.
We've already to date filmed half of next season, as well as we've got plans for already the third series. So we're thinking ahead. We're trying to change the game and try and keep improving ourselves. So I think we should give them a little bit of an insight as to what we've already filmed. You reckon?
No.
Why not?
No spoilers.
Just a couple.
One.
2.
One.
Okay. We'll deal with 2. So let's think of the 2 that I could share. Right. One of your friends, actually.
Yeah.
Very bubbly, charismatic. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Charismatic character. She, her dad committed suicide when she was a teenager, and she really shed a real positive and energetic kind of episode for us to basically tell her how and what she did, to which obviously she's nearly 30 now, and how it's shaped her. And
she's gonna kill you for saying that.
Really?
She's nearly 30.
Oh,
it's
Christ.
very, very touchy subject for us.
Oh, Christ. Well, you know what happens after 30, 40. But no, she gives a real different aspect or different perspective of.
She just doesn't take herself too seriously, and if you're that kind of person that doesn't want to just sit and wallow or doesn't want to harbour anger and just tries to see the positive and see the not the good, but it doesn't all end just because someone dies. And yeah, she's not doom and gloomy, she's not dreary, she's very fun, she's very bubbly, she's very you know what she's like. So
it's a really easy watch.
you know what she's like. She's very happy. She's very bubbly. She's very positive. But she's not always been like that. It helps that she's that kind of person anyway. So if you are watching and you might not resonate with some of the more serious episodes, then this one is for you.
Yeah, I mean, she even in one of the feedback she said this is too serious, and yeah, it might be to her, and yeah, it's a really fun, easy watch. So definitely recommend it when it comes out.
Yeah.
And then we've actually got a happy ending to share, which is a friend of mine had a journey for IVF over some years with his wife and numerous attempts. I think it was 3 failed attempts. They actually managed to conceive naturally, which would be a really insightful and educational episode for anyone who has gone through that IVF treatment, or never heard of what happens and wants to learn a bit more about it. And hopefully,
Or if they've just been told they have to and they have a bad taste in their mouth and they think, oh, it's not going to happen for me and stuff. It can. It might. I can't say it will, but
yeah,
there are
there's hope.
miracles. Yeah, there's hope. There's miracles. And although this episode isn't grief as we know it because no one's died, but they were that was a grieving process. And we just want to shed light on someone doesn't have to die to grieve. So that's I think that would be a really, really, really good episode.
Yeah. No, well, we filmed it and it was good. So I can't wait to share it with you. So,
All right.
all right. So yes, we wrap it up there.
Yeah.
I think we've waffled on enough now.
Yeah.
So we are obviously very grateful for any listeners that we've got, and we really appreciate the shares, the comments, the likes. I know it gets boring hearing us say that, but genuinely, the more you do it, the wider the audience can spread, and hopefully these episodes can get bigger and better. And you never know, one day we might reach an audience or some guests of celebrities, and we might have some insightful experiences and stories from them.
Cut that end out.
So, yeah. We want to reach a wider audience so that it can help more people, you know. So we hope everyone has a Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year.
Yes, what Lauren sung.
Just spreading the Christmas cheer.
Yes, so there's got to be some cheer somewhere. See you soon in Series 2. Goodbye.
Bye.